Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Absolute BSS, the casual-petitive look at Bandai Namco's Battle Spirit Saga card game. Welcome back. I am Cameron Weaver, joined as always with Angel and Eric. How are you guys doing? Fresh off the grand open in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Doing good. A little bit tired from the drive, but here we are.
Yeah, big weekend for you guys. Eric's got
a
little bit of a voice loss issue, but he's going to power through this and deliver you beautiful people some content. And once again, I was not able to participate in this one, so you guys are going to be taking the lead a lot here today. But let's that's what we're going to be talking about today is Grand Open recap, and all the fun that you guys had and what decks you played, what decks you played against, and just some of the stuff that you got to do while you were out there in Tulsa. So if you want to just jump into it, let's do it.
I took some notes, and then Angel, I think you have some notes too. So you want me to get started, and we can just kind of ping back and forth? And
yeah, absolutely.
Cam, feel free to throw in your colorful commentary about anything you find interesting.
Oh, I tried to burp, and I almost barfed.
Oh God!
That's the way to start. That's the way to start.
That would have been. I mean, I would kind of want to keep that in, to be honest.
Also,
I just want to look. Yeah, I just want to call out how I think both of you guys are drinking beer, and I'm over here just drinking a nice little apple crisp Starbucks.
Ooh, apple crisp.
Yeah,
it is
fall drinks.
Tits the season, man. I love it.
Both of us are drinking some Yinglings. So.
I'm actually it's Moosehead Lager.
Oh, I thought it was Yingling.
It looked like a Yingling.
I thought it was Heineken.
It tastes like Yingling. It's good. It's real good. It's like $8 for a sixer at Walmart.
It's good though. Mm-hmm. Is it really high ABV?
No.
Oh.
But I cook my chicken in this crockpot chicken. Just a full Moosehead Lager in there. I'm so excited.
So we'll get that recipe in the show notes.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Enough about the beer. Let's talk about
Beer
our
SS.
journey. Beer SS. Yeah, let's talk about our journey from Tennessee to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So long drive. Shout out to Angel for driving the whole time. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. We had a comfortable car.
Oh yeah, it was nice. What kind of car was that?
It was a Passat? 2022 Volkswagen Passat with 18 gallon. So it was like 580 miles to empty. So it was perfect. It was the perfect car.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We only had to fill up a couple of times, there and back. So it was nice.
Man.
And I think the last time we filled up was just so that, you didn't, just to do it.
I think I needed an energy drink. That's what it was.
Yeah. So as far as the trip itself, we didn't really see much. There's not much to see. No. There was we saw the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid in Memphis when we drove by that, and then there was a whole lot of nothing for about 6 to 7 hours.
That sounds about right.
I did take some notes here about something I didn't want to forget that we saw, which was quite odd, which was multiple 16-wheeler trucks with radioactive soil in bins on the back. And they were just kind of they were just kind of winging it. There was just some bins and they had a bunch of really scary looking imagery on them that was stay the fuck away from this. And then the sign just said that it had radioactive soil. So I was like, I don't know why you are transporting this right now and why it's not more contained than it is. But yeah, we just drove really fast by them so that we wouldn't be near it on the road. So
my gosh.
Yeah, it was two of them. I accelerated. I was like, I'm gone. I was like,
if these tip over, we're all growing.
Arm,
man, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna have some crazy superpowers, maybe. Who knows?
I'm Dirt Man.
But you know what? Shout out to the radioactive soil trucks for being the most interesting thing on our entire trip. So
no kidding.
Shout out to radioactive soil. Big shout out.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I said, it was like the pyramid in Memphis, those two trucks that Eric randomly spotted, and then after that, literally absolutely nothing. Like
Yeah.
nothing. Like it was interesting.
Wow.
We drove through our new favorite place on Earth. What was it called? Muskogee?
Oh, yeah, or Muskogee or something like that. Muskogee. It was I
Yeah.
call it Shack City.
Shack City.
So the one thing that was interesting about that city, a part of it was like a whole lot of nothing, was that every restaurant, at least that we noticed, was either literally in a shack, like looking it was a shack setup,
Uh-huh.
or it had the old school like sign. Like Sonic had an old school sign, Subway had a
Oh,
super old school sign. I forget what the I think Burger King had one that was really old school. So it was very interesting. It's almost like I feel like I time traveled a little bit in that
that's
town.
Yeah.
wild.
I felt like we traveled back in time to like the 90s. Like I feel like that's the Sonic sign from when I was a kid.
Did it
You
have like
know?
one of those old Pizza Huts like in the hut?
That was the other thing. Yes,
Yes.
yes, that's the other thing. It
Yes.
was pizza. There was like 3 or 4 Pizza Huts almost in every
Yeah.
corner. I'm like,
Oh
I guess Pizza
man.
Hut was popular out here.
That's
Um,
heaven.
and it was funny because like right about I want to say we're about like a little over halfway our trip. We're like, oh, we should get like some Starbucks or Dunkin', just something to finish the road.
Yeah.
Literally, there was nothing for 280 miles. Like there was no
Yeah.
exit sign. Literally, no joke. There was no rest stops, no food exit
Oh
signs.
my
Literally, we
gosh.
we didn't get into like civilization, I guess you could say again, till we were like what, like 40 minutes away from Tulsa.
What
Yeah. And
in
Um,
at
the
that point, we were like, we
world?
might as well just finish this out. You
yeah,
know?
Yeah. What the
yeah.
hell?
I was telling Eric on the way back, like I don't think I mean I usually drive a lot to a lot of different cities when I travel. And I think this is the only time I can recall that I didn't see as many rest stops. You know, usually it's like
Yeah.
every 60 to 80 miles you see one. Like it was like one or two, and if you don't catch it, good luck for the next 5 hours. Like it was
Yeah.
rough. It was
That's
interesting.
bizarre.
Yeah.
By the way, for any of our listeners, audio or video, if you're a video, you've already noticed this. I am going to be splicing in. I took a lot of like B-roll footage while we were on our trip. So if you want to check out the YouTube channel, Absolute BSS Pod on YouTube, we'll have some videos. I think I got some videos of some of the nothingness that we drove through.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got the radioactive soil trucks. I think I maybe was just like, let's get away from those.
Yeah.
But, other stuff, yeah, I have little bits and pieces of the event and the trip all like spliced in, and all of our food. I think I took videos of all of our food. So
That's my favorite part, man.
Delicious
yeah,
food.
So excited to see
Yep.
that.
yeah. Let's talk about the food really quick because I think that was a big highlight that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, like well, it's a couple things, right? So when we finally get to Tulsa, I think the biggest thing that shocked me, I think maybe Eric as well, was it's downtown, and
Oh yeah,
it's not a downtown. Like I mean, it is, but it's not. Like there was literally nobody out there, and it was Friday night. I want to say we got there like 6, 7 o'clock at night. I'm talking about like no traffic, barely any people, nothing going on. And later on, we found out that I guess there's like 2 downtowns down there. There's like the business downtown, which is where we
Oh.
were at, which is
yeah,
started popping on Monday when things people go back to normal work schedules. And then there's like the downtown that's similar to what you would expect a downtown to be. But apart from that, though, our hotel was amazing. It was like right behind the convention. And we ended up going. Our
That's
first
nice.
restaurant was a Vietnamese place that the clerk had recommended. And dude, I think we were talking about it before the show. It's probably one of my favorite food spots that we ate
Wow.
there. We had other really
yeah.
good spots, but the Vietnamese place was just amazing, man. Like just the food, the heck of beer, the service was amazing. We actually found out some interesting stuff there that me and Eric have the same birthday, so that's
Yeah.
That's
They
that,
checked
wild.
her
that
out.
was interesting. We drove almost 12 hours together, and that's the one
Yeah.
time we found out at the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, she checked her IDs for the beer, and then she's like, "Oh, y'all have the same birthday?" And we were like,
Like, we
"I don't
do?
know, do we?"
I was like, oh, I don't know.
That's news to us.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I guess when I celebrate my birthday this year, Angel, we'll have to do a joint birthday party for both
Like,
of us.
woo.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, that Vietnamese food was awesome.
I'm
I don't even remember
jealous.
what it was that we ordered. It was something I've never ordered before from a Vietnamese
Yeah.
place, but it was not pho, but it was some kind of other like noodle soup thing.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
like
was
a
really
noodle
good.
soup thing, and it had like chopped up egg rolls in it.
Oh,
And you
Yeah.
can choose your meat. And then she brought some peanut sauce and fish oil sauce.
oh
And then we
yeah.
also had for the appetizer, we had the spring rolls with what did we get it with? Was it shrimp? I can't remember what it was with.
Yum.
We got the
Was it pork?
lemongrass pork.
Lemongrass pork.
Oh,
Spring rolls
let's
with peanut. Oh,
fucking go.
dude, it was good.
Yeah.
Like we were so disappointed. Where I think we are gonna try to go this Sunday again, and we're like, oh, it's closed. So like, man, we were very disappointed.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, if I
Especially Eric, you got some chicken tenders that from like bowling alley style.
Oh God. Yeah. Not to jump ahead, but should we talk about Sunday's food options? Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or should we-
Here we go. Sunday's food
so-
option.
Well, yeah, we are jumping ahead here a little bit, but that's okay. Because, man, so just like we were talking about how downtown is kind of like dead, or at least in the area we were in, which, by the way, shout out to Varrock from our Discord.
Yes.
He showed us around. He was so nice and just showed us around and all the local spots and,
That's so fun.
showed us where to go. But we didn't have his help on Sunday because he had to go to work. So we went back to the hotel and played some games and stuff, which we'll talk about that later, I guess. But the only place we could not find a place that was open to eat. And then when we looked in, I think Cosmic's Discord, people were posting the same exact thing. People were just like, where do we eat? Because nothing is open. Like, I'm not even, like, literally, like, there was not even, like, a McDonald's. Like, there was, like, nothing. So, literally, like, the only place we found that was open was a Hilton hotel, had a restaurant in the bottom. And they closed at 10, and it was already kind of getting a little late.
Oh my
so we were
gosh.
like, well, we better go, because otherwise, like, I guess we just won't eat tonight.
Yeah, we'll start.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So we went, and, like, it looks... Here's the thing about that place. Like, it looks really nice. Like, they've got, like, these, like, brick ovens with, like, real fire and stuff inside, and, like, real legit looking, like, chefs, like, cooking stuff. But then you order your food, and it's like, I got this plate of chicken tenders with, like, French fries and some green beans, and it was, like, hot around the outside and cold in the middle. And I was just like, so yeah, I just got the fucking microwave chicken tenders, and it was not cheap. It was so expensive.
Yeah, it was like $20, something like that. Like,
yeah.
I ended up getting the chicken wings, and they weren't even crispy. And literally, it was the chicken wings with literally like a bunch of grass. Like, it was just a whole big thing of grass. I was like, what in the world is that? Like,
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose
good.
some, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So,
we were skipping ahead. But the food was good,
Yeah.
though.
Other than that one place, everywhere
Yeah.
else we ate was very good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Friday night we had the Vietnamese food. It was called Thai Vietnamese, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very good. Right next to if you ever need to go to the Cox Convention Center in Tulsa, stay at the Aloft downtown. There's good food within walking distance, and you're literally like a minute walk, if even that, like from the business center. You're like right next door.
Nice.
Oh, do you want to mention? You should talk about the bathroom experience we had in our hotel room.
I saw this.
Yeah, so we check in. Obviously, we check in. Everything's fine. They're super friendly. I would say that hotel is very secure as well. So if you're worried about privacy, they have gated keys, grates, whatever you name it. So, but anyways, we check in. We go up to our hotel. We're talking about the hotel. Like, oh wow, it's really clean. It smells nice. I guess that used to be the city hall. Things what she said, and they built that hotel right there. Maybe because they moved. But so we opened our hotel room. And, normal, the two queen beds, the TV, stuff that you expect. The views are just the views, downtown. And then we're checking. So right next to my bed on the left side, we noticed like I guess you call it like a frosted glass. Like, it's pretty tall, like a rectangle glass. What is that? So Eric's like, is that for the bathroom? I was like, it can't be. So I go in the bathroom. I was like, hey, tell me if you can see me. So I hop in the shower. I mean, we're close on, obviously. I hop in the shower. And I'm like, hey, can you see me? He's like, yeah, you can basically make out. I was like, what in the world? I was like, what is this dumb design? Like, right here. We were talking about, like, what if I was there with my wife and my dad was staying with us, or just all of us as friends? Like, I mean, we're close, but we're not that close. And it was the weirdest thing, and we were like just tripping out about that. And when we brought Eric there, we told him the same thing. He's like, what the hell? It's like it's the weirdest experience in hotel design I've ever seen. So anytime we would shower, we'd be like, "Hey, go to that like table over there, or go to the room." Like, it just a game, but just it was very, very interesting.
Very intimate.
Very, yeah. I started joking with Eric. I was like,
Yeah.
"Did we get a honeymoon suite?" Or like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing. Like,
That's what I don't get about it is like if it was like one master bed, like, oh yeah, sure, maybe you'd want that. But it was like we got the room with two separate beds, so it was kind of like,
Yeah.
you gotta assume that if someone gets a room with two separate beds, they're like, they're not there, especially next to the business center. Like, I don't think anybody's there for like a honeymoon or something. I don't know.
Hey, they're closing business deals, all right. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, business. Like, it's the weirdest thing, though, man. It was so funny.
So
Like,
funny.
I was. Like, no matter how much you steam it up, it reminded me of like a Home Alone scene or movie where like you can kind of make out the body of the person, but you can tell basically what is going on. I'm like, what in the world? I was like, let me see the blueprints of this building. Was this by design?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
That's so goofy.
Yeah. So we just decided that anytime one of us needed a shower, the other person would just like be busy or like go do something, just so we didn't have to work out how to.
Yeah, how to enjoy a
Not
shower.
Like to have a little bit of privacy.
Yeah. Wow.
Like
That's
they could have
wild.
put a curtain up or something.
And
like,
Well, that's what I was
just
thinking.
not
Maybe
put a
like
window
a shade,
there.
or not put a window. Yeah,
You
but
sent
just put,
that
like a
Yeah,
shade.
like-
picture somewhere, and I was just like, "That's hysterical."
Oh,
'Cause it
yeah,
is.
I'll
It's
put
like
the photo-
It's like an.
It's
up
like
and
a
down.
yeah.
It's
It's
just a
like
vertical
Yeah.
little slot to be like peekaboo.
Yeah, like there's no
I
purpose
am.
for that window other than to see someone's entire naked body in the shower.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
So
it is,
it's like-
did you say the event center is called the Cox Center?
Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
Cox, but also like
It's like, well, we could see the cocks from our window, and we could also see the cocks from another window in our.
That's
Another
right.
window, yeah.
Hey-o. Hey.
Anyways,
But there was none
before we
of
get-
that. There was none of that though.
You're getting a peek at each other's Netherworld depths.
Oh god.
boy.
Oh man,
Oh,
that's
man.
one place where I definitely don't want Burning Force. Anyways,
Definitely needs to get banned.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
okay, so
That was Friday.
I'm gonna turn the
Oh,
air
let's
on
see.
real quick.
Friday. Huh?
He's gonna turn
What's
the
going
air
on? Oh, okay. Yeah, we can keep talking. The other thing we did was Friday night we went downstairs and play tested. Angel and I had already submitted our deck list, so we were just chilling. But man, there were some people down there like doing some last minute like changes and submitting deck lists like right before midnight. So
Wow.
but it was fun. It was like, Cosmic and his crew was down there in the same hotel. So we were just
drinking,
kind of
playing cards,
drinking.
practicing.
Man, what a blast.
There was actually a guy that had told me that phase that he actually submitted his deck list at like 12:01. So I guess he told me there's like a 4 or 5 minute grace period for future knowledge that anybody that's going to Grand Open, you do have like a 4 to 5 minute window. I wouldn't personally risk that, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
if you do,
I'd rather
he told
not
me-
have that
Yeah.
information.
He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I submitted like at 12 because they were practicing. I think when you and I were done, it was like probably close to 11:30 at night, and there was a
Yeah.
guy that was still like they were helping him with his deck, trying to figure out what to submit.
Wow.
Which I get. It's nerve wracking. That was my
Big
experience
deal.
at the Ohio Grand Open. I was like laid up at night with 4 different decks. Like, do I switch it? But luckily, I made my last minute switches Thursday night, so we submitted our deck list.
Yeah.
And I think that helped with like the stress and the compression of having to worry about that. We can just enjoy some games. So.
Yeah. Well, I was very worried that Friday night we were going to discover some like glaring problem with my deck that I needed to desperately figure out how to fix, but luckily that didn't happen. I think we both felt pretty comfortable with our deck lists, and it was like, there's always improvements to be made. There's always things you can tweak, but I think it was like we're comfortable with these. We know how to play them. We know them inside and out. Like, let's just move forward with these and just kind of let our skill and RNG decide the rest for us. So
Yeah.
And actually, I'm glad we actually had a chance to play this Friday because I was worried with the trip that we would get there pretty late and I'd get a chance. Because when I made my last minute changes Thursday, I didn't play test that. I just figured, hey, it's gonna go well with the deck. and playing against Eric Friday, like I actually saw the cards that I changed, and it did fantastic.
Yep.
And I didn't regret that. I told him I think on Friday, I was like, yeah, I don't regret making this change because it actually seems a little bit better and kind of helps out. So it was fun. I mean, Friday we were tired, but it was funny because we were so exhausted just from being in that car for so long.
Yeah.
But the moment we were able to get into the hotel and I said, let's go play some cards. Yeah. It's like you had a bunch of energy. Like we were up, we were talking.
Yeah.
I think we didn't go to bed till like almost like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because we were still up talking about the card and the event and things.
Yeah.
So it was
So
pretty
fun.
exciting. So
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys had such a good time.
we're gonna have to force you to one of these one day, Cam. I'm gonna have to force you to Grand Open one day, man. You gotta go.
So
you gotta
here's the
experience
thing.
at least one. You know.
Here's the thing, like I just this year in general, like I've been like doing like a lot of different like career shifts and all that stuff, and my first year married and stuff like that. So like I haven't definitely been able to travel, but I'm already planning on next big season to definitely get out to some of these Grand Opens with you guys specifically.
Yeah.
And, I can't wait. Like it's already like as soon as they're announced, I'm getting on it. And we're gonna make it happen because I was
excited, man.
so
Food,
jealous.
Food, traveling.
That's
fun,
right.
dude.
What's better than that? I was so jealous the whole weekend. I was like, man, I just want to play some Battle Spirits. And I was watching the stream from the event, and that was very cool.
It was funny when the stream. I didn't know I was like on the stream. I was walking by, I guess, talking to Eric. People were like, "Oh, I see PR King again."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, where?" Like on the stream. I'm like standing in the middle of the camera. I was like, I didn't know I was in the camera. Like, so.
Good thing we weren't like picking our nose or something, you know.
Yeah.
Cam, do you think you could make it to Wave 3
What's wait
in
when?
December for Grand Opens? Not Pasadena, but whatever the other location is.
Maybe.
I don't know. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
but
that's fine.
I really
didn't-
want to.
I haven't seen the Wave 3 dates yet.
think it's
The first one
November.
is.
I need
November,
to.
somewhere
I need to
November.
just try to do an online one, like webcam.
That too. Those are
Yeah.
fun too.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah, I
down to
think
do
I-
one of those with
I think
you.
the next Grand Open I plan on going to is not the Pasadena one, or probably the one in February. So
I could
the next
probably
one I'm
do. I could probably make February work.
Well, let's plan on that.
Yeah.
So we'll
That's
see,
what
'cause
I'm
I'd be slowed
thinking.
down with work, and then that'd be like the new season, right? So
Yeah.
I think that'd be right around after Set 4 actually comes out. So it might, actually work out. So anyways, but we'll talk about it. Either way, I think at least one Grand Open for everybody.
Yes.
I know it was Eric's first one too, and he had a blast. And we'll talk about Saturday here shortly, but he man, it's exciting seeing everybody being so excited for that because it is a cool event, especially if you like this game and love the game.
Yeah.
The people that you meet, the experience. I mean, right away we connected with other players that were there. So yeah, definitely check out Grand Open if everybody get a chance. So
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let's go into Saturday. So Saturday morning we went to the Cherry Street Kitchen, which is another fantastic little local Tulsa spot. We just kind of picked it because we saw it was nearby the hotel, and like the pictures online look pretty decent. Man, the food there, so good. So good, in fact, not to get ahead of myself, we did go back again Sunday. So.
Nice. You gotta love a
Yeah.
place like that you just stumble upon that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go here again in my limited time frame here. And that's
yeah,
always
it's
fun.
just like very like homey food, I guess you could say. And the service was fantastic. It was like technically we had like 4 or 5 different servers because they always checked around the table and make sure we had water. The coffee was actually really good, and that's the biggest thing we went, right? We wanted coffee, so it's like the coffee was really good. So yeah, the food was. I mean, I forgot what I got. What it was called. I think we got the same thing that day. Actually, it was like a platter with like sausage, biscuits.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
can't beat that.
I remember the name of it. It was the Booyah Breakfast Bowl.
That's what it was. Booyah! That's what it was.
Booyah breakfast bowl,
baby.
dude. I would be
Yeah.
all up in there, like swimwear.
good.
Oh, it was good, and they had fantastic coffee. So that's why we were like, if for breakfast, that's what you want. You want something filling and solid, and you want
Yeah.
good coffee. So that's why we went again, because it was like, they did it right. Let's just go. You want something that's not going to mess with your stomach either.
Right.
When you go into
Something
this type of
solid,
event.
tried and true,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you've
Yeah.
never been to a Grand Open, they do not allow you to bring any kinds of food or any outside drinks. They will back check the hell out of your bag. And unfortunately, this time around, it wasn't like this in Ohio, but the back checkers, you thought they were for TSA. They were taking it a little too seriously. It's like, Jesus, dude, like, calm down, like, relax. But definitely, like Eric was saying, you definitely want to eat beforehand because, they have concessions in there, but it ain't nothing that's going to be probably as hearty as a real restaurant, something
Okay.
real good.
And
And we were lucky that the convention was right there, right? So we can sit down and eat because it didn't start till like 10:30, I think it was. Actually, it was 11 because they changed the last minute. So definitely when you guys are planning these trips, try to like get hotels that are really close as possible to the convention, so you do have that time to really, relax, get you mentally prepared, eat something.
Yeah.
If you do have to go to the bathroom after you eat, because it happens, you have time for that. So, because it gets rough. It gets rough.
And hopefully you can use a different bathroom than the one that's supplied at the convention center because,
Jeez.
man, they're going to need
Yeah.
to burn that bathroom to the ground and rebuild it
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah. So there
It was,
was like a One Piece competition there as well, right? So it was probably
Oh, that's right.
I don't even there was like I don't know, probably altogether maybe 300 people if not more. Majority was One Piece, obviously.
Yeah.
Dude, by like I think by like round 5, I went to the bathroom when I could because of all the overtime. And dude, you would have thought that there was no urinals in that bathroom because the floor. It's like everybody was peeing on the floor. I was like, "What in the world?" There were always out of napkins or toilet papers or napkins. Yeah, you couldn't dry your hands. There was no soap. Luckily, I had my hand sanitizer.
No soap.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the world? These players touching my cars with dirty hands, like all stinky hands.
I don't
poo-poo
like
hands.
that. Poo-poo
Yeah, dude, it was
hands.
rough. Like, literally, the bathroom, you could see like everybody's footprints, and I'm like,
Oh!
why is the water? Because this is by the urinal. That's all piss. Like, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was crazy. The bathroom was actually like nice, right, for being a bathroom. Like if you guys would have been to Columbus, Ohio, that bathroom looked like a BP gas station bathroom. So this bathroom was actually nice. I just don't think they had any staff or janitor staff working because it was rough.
Here's part of the problem is they stick us in this room. It's a nice room. It's great for this event. However, there's the one bathroom and then there's the concession stand. And if you want to use a different bathroom or eat something else, you have to leave, and then they're going to bag check you when you come back in.
Yeah.
And it takes a minute to get through the line. So much so that after the lunch break, they extended the round. Or they extended the lunch break slightly because some people were just stuck in the line outside. And it was like
that's crazy.
They didn't want people getting like game or match losses because they were stuck in a line trying to get back in.
I'm glad they were taking security seriously, but also damn, that is a bummer. That does like kind of cool you off between rounds. Like, excuse me, that really gets you out of the zone.
Pulls you off, huh? Ain't that? I hope nobody's listening to this to go to sleep because that will wake you up.
Oh yeah, sorry to Eric's girlfriend. Oh man, she was just about to fall asleep, and then just jolts awake to that.
We might as well just do one of these. There we go.
Man, yeah, I forgot I was playing air horn noises earlier too. That was me. You guys can't hear it when I hit my soundboard, but they can. So sorry. Wow, I'm fucking this one up.
No, it's okay. We got off track. So one thing I want to say about the concessions though. So it was nice to have that in there and have some food options available, but it was like I was mentioning, like you're forced to eat it, and I was like, it was definitely stuff that is not like, you know how we were saying Cherry Street Kitchen was like, oh, that was good, that was filling, it's not gonna upset my stomach. We're talking like chili cheese dogs, Frito chili pies.
Come on, dude! No wonder the bathroom was a mess.
Nachos with that fake nacho cheese, like that's all there was, which was like, don't get me wrong, like I'm very grateful that they had food in there at all, so we didn't have to leave and then try to come back in. But also, I just had a muffin, like I had a blueberry Otis Spunkmeyer muffin, just because I was like, I knew the full name because I used to eat those when I was a kid.
Yeah, I love those things.
I love he knows the whole name.
Big Spunkmeyer fan here.
Man, one thing that's crazy about these grand opens, and I thought I just had a bad experience in Ohio, but I guess this is something I need to get myself prepared for any grand open I go to, or probably any Battle Spirits event. The lunches are not going to be long enough for you guys to go eat lunch. It's just really not. I mean, I think there's a point I was in line with Eric, and it was like this close, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to have time because I was worried about like sitting down, shuffling.
Right.
And Ohio's the exact same thing, right? Like actually this time around it's a little bit longer, but in Ohio we had a half-hour lunch. And dude, the lines were, I mean, you have one concession and all these players from 2 different games trying to eat lunch at the same time. I mean, half an hour, you barely can make it at the end of the line, So it's kind of like rough. And I would say, prepare snacks or whatever, but then you can't because they're going to throw it away. So it's just this weird like dynamic where like, hey, try to eat something when you can, or try to finish your opponents, but as quickly as possible. But
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, depending on when you're playing, you're gonna go into overtime. So it's like it's hard. Like by the time you're done, it's the next round. Like
Purple white players were starving.
and headaches.
Well,
Red,
so
red
that's the
aggro
thing
was
is
eating good.
that's the thing. So yeah, let's get into the decks and what we were playing because it feeds into this. Because I was playing green aggro, and most of my rounds were over in about 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of time. Like either I won or I lost, but it was over like super fast, which was very nice because I got a very long lunch break. So
Yeah.
the time that I was in the line with you, Angel, was actually my second time going through the line.
Really?
Just
rub it in. Why don't you rub it in?
yeah. Just because I was like, I don't have anything else to do. I might as well like stock up on some more like food and water so that I have it just in case I'm hungry later. Bought a Snickers bar that came in clutch later,
Nice.
right before round 7. So
Satisfy that hunger.
yeah.
You're not.
But
you
yeah, I
when
was
you're
playing green.
hungry.
I was playing green aggro, and they let us know at the right at the start of the event. It was supposed to be 9 rounds, but instead it was going to be 7 because we only had 79 people. Apparently, you need 128 people to do 9 rounds and then cut to a top 32.
Okay.
So instead, we did 7 rounds, cut to a top 8, which honestly took a lot of pressure off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I don't have to survive through 9 rounds. 7 is, that's still a lot of games of Battle Spirits, but that's like a work day. That's
Right.
like, like an 8-hour, 9-hour work day playing this game.
Still a potential of 21 games, though.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Yeah, there's a lot of games. I mean, I want to say we didn't end the night till like 9 o'clock at night. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
it
that's
was
what you're
rough.
there for, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah. I had a blast.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I wasn't
but
playing aggro. So
yeah.
my time, I was playing like I call it purple draw with a splash of green, and all my games, majority of them, all went into overtime. So it's just like literally, I was at the end every time. It's just like quick shuffle, get to the next table, figure it out. Like it was rough.
Yeah, it was after my games I would always like go and check on Angel to see how he was doing, and I would look over and he's just like totally serious, like stone cold, and I'm just like, oh, he's
Angel,
still playing.
You have a really great card game face. You really do.
It's funny. That's what Eric has said. He said, I guess it's one match I was playing in one round that Eric and him were like, I guess watching me play or whatever. And he had told Eric, he's like, man, I can't really tell like if he's winning or losing. Like it's just very like
honestly,
shoot.
That's an important thing. Like
Yeah.
my wife is the same way, and she's pointed that out about myself. Like we'll play Keyforge together a lot, and it's like you never know if you have it or not. Because like like there are some people that like give it away, and you can kind of use their body language to your advantage. But like if you don't give that, then that's great, and I think that's a really good skill. But you definitely have that kind of like that stoicism.
So I could be losing. That's what I was telling him. I was like, I mean, you nailed it. Like I told him the same thing. I was like, I learned it from playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like, if I see my opponent start get jittery or like shaking a lot, or his hand, I was like, all right, I'm gonna put more pressure. Like this guy doesn't have anything,
Exactly.
The same thing though, right? So it's just try to like neutral, but I also kind of do it too because like I don't like to lose focus, right? A lot of times, and which I don't mind it because it's part of the game. Players want to talk to you while they're playing. Oh, where you from, and blah blah, and that's cool and dandy. But in a situation like this, like something like that can distract me from everything. So I try to be very like,
especially
man,
at that
cool,
level
cool.
too.
Yeah,
it's like, you never know if they're using that as a tactic too to like kind of just pull you out of your headspace or like waste a little bit of time, which is a shitty thing. But like people, absolutely, they're doing that. But yeah,
I had a couple people start off the match by being like, oh, what are you playing? And I would have to think about, like, do I want to give that away or not? And I often did because I felt like it was actually more to my advantage to know what they were playing. Because the way that my aggro deck works is if I don't think you're going to play anything, if you're going to go slow, I'm going to go very fast because I just want to outpace you as much as I can. If you're going to go fast or you're more mid-range, then maybe I want to like take my time. Like maybe I want to mush Rantula, have you discard a card. Maybe I want to work or Ant-Man, ramp up a little bit. But if you're just like, oh, I'm playing white control or something, then it's like, okay, I'm going to like mulligan for like map butterfly, tin soldier. Like I'm just looking for damage. Like I'm just trying to get you down low. So even though it was kind of like, a little bit of just conversational. I was also like, I wouldn't purposefully ask someone, but if they asked me, I would just go along with it because I personally felt like me having that information was a little more valuable because I don't know that people really play tested a lot against like green aggro as much as some of the other builds.
Yeah,
so.
they will be now after this event. That's for damn sure. But yeah,
I'm quite the opposite. I'm the opposite on that. Like, go ahead, Cam. What are you gonna say?
No, nothing.
No, I'm kind of the opposite because I had some players. I think it was like round 4. Somebody tried to ask me, "Oh, you're probably playing this," or "I hope you're playing this," trying to like gather information.
Yeah.
And a lot of us say, "Like, well, you'll see pretty soon," and about a couple cards, you know, because like to me, you know, like you're saying, yeah, you can get that knowledge, but at the same time, like if I have that pre-known notion, which most players already do, right? Because you walk around, you kind of see who's playing, people talk, so they already have an idea if they're in a group or whatever. But if not, though,
that
like
mulligan.
Well, yeah, like if I already know what you're gonna be playing, then I'm already know I'm gonna hold a couple key cards in my hand because I'm gonna react. And at that point, I don't want to give any sort of advantage to my opponent, right? Because if you know I'm playing whatever aggro, right, then you're probably gonna hold on to those burning forces for that. And now my nexus is you're gonna change that whole layout where like if you start, like for example, I had a guy that sided wrong against me on game 2 because he had seen me play at another table. And I guess he saw some of my white that I had, so he thought I was playing purple-white. So game 2, he completely sided heavy, and he even told me that he sided wrong against me because he thought I was playing purple-white, and then he saw I wasn't. So that's why I try, you know, it can kind of bite you in the butt sometimes. And you look, so it's just kind of I try not to give as many information as possible. I try to be like, very neutral. Like you'll find out in about 2 turns. Like
there's a fine line between like being friendly and then giving way too much information to your opponent. And again, especially like at that level, like you're all there to play at very, very high level. You got to be a little bit careful like that. It's a tactic. It's a technique. And but I'm that's definitely something that people do.
Talking about high level, Eric, you want to tell them what you found out at a Grand Open for any future Grand Open participants?
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
This is you must know this. Everybody, listen carefully because
so
it's crazy.
I didn't get hit by this, but I did learn this from my round 6 opponent. Super nice guy. I can't remember his name. So if you're listening to this and you remember playing against me, hello. You were very nice. I appreciate you. I shuffled my deck without showing him what my set burst was, and he let me know that he could call a judge over and I could get a game loss for that. So when you finish a game, you need to flip. If you didn't flip your burst over, you need to flip it over and show the person what it was. And when he explained it to me, it made so much sense because I could have been bluffing an ice shield and maybe it was a worker Ant-Man I put face down.
Right.
You know,
and that's fucked up because that never even crossed my mind until you said that. And I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing that lets me know that they didn't just put any card into the burst zone. That's crazy.
And in fact, he scooped. Like that game ended because he scooped and he was like, let's go to game 2. And then I started shuffling my deck and then he was like, so, you know, I'm not going to do this to you because I'm not an asshole.
Right.
But just so you know, like you need to show your burst. And I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. And he knew I wasn't cheating because like I obviously wasn't like intentionally trying to hide it. I was like, it was a Star Blast draw. But you know, I learned that and it stuck with me, so now I'm going to make sure I do that to show what my burst was at the end. Because it does matter if you are at a high level event like the Grand Open or a Pro Tour, or if you go even further than that, like people will call a judge over for that, and rightfully so. They should because I believe it is in the rules of the game that you have to show your burst.
Yeah, it is. And I knew that you had to show your burst, right? I didn't know it was to the extreme where you would get a game loss if you didn't show it, but I did know from reading the rule books before the game came out, because I was bored. I was like, let me read as much of this game as I can. But really, I just have a natural habit of like when I lose a game, or even if I win, I'm, oh yeah, you have it, man. All I have is this, and this is what I had. I think naturally, I didn't think about it but it makes sense though, right? I'm just used to naturally talking to my opponents like, yeah, you had it. This one I have done this. I had this, but this, you know, I did it with Eric all the time. Like when we're practicing, oh, I had it, but I had this and this. So I think that's what I'm always just used to showing it. But when he told me that after his round, I was like, I'm glad that you had a really nice guy. So kudos to you, man. Like I know it's these kind of events get kind of rowdy sometimes because I get it. It's competitive. It's a lot on the line. There's money on the line. There's invites going out. So it's nice that when people kind of are respectful and kind of play like, hey, I get it. Just don't do it in the future. That's because we're all learning, right? A lot of us is, this is your first Grand Open, right? And I try to do that with some of the players I was playing against where like, oh crap, I forgot to draw off the depths, or I forgot to do this. And normally I'd be like, oh, no, but if it's still their turn, I'd be like, that's fine, right?
Right.
It's not going to change anything. Now, if it's my turn and you say, hey, I forgot to, I'm like, well, that's a whole turn. Like, I'm sorry. Because that could give you an out to whatever I'm about to do, But I try to be as nice. Yeah, I try to be as nice as possible because I get it. You're nervous. We misplay. I mean, towards the end of the day, I was misplaying a little bit because I was so tired.
Sure.
And, people, hey, you can't do that. You already said no on D Flash. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're right. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, it happens. We're humans. So just don't be a jerk about it.
Right.
Like,
I think,
so I'm glad that guy was nice.
I think that's definitely it in summary is don't be a jerk, but also don't let people take advantage of you.
Exactly. Like find the balance. Stick to your guns.
Stern. Yeah.
Be firm and do what. Well, just try to be a good person. That's
I would say this, right? If let's say that same scenario, right? You do that game 1, I tell you about it. We go to game 2.
Yeah.
I happen to win game 2. And then you do it again, we're about to go game 3. At that point, you're not like, okay, at that point, I just told you game 1, you shouldn't do that. At that point, I'll be like, all right, let me call the judge because obviously you don't care.
Yeah. It's like a yellow card and then it's a
red
Yeah. Well, I think that's also why he didn't call the judge over and just told me about it because I think he could legitimately tell that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that happens for sure.
I wasn't being shady or shifty, and he could pick up on that. He could tell I was just genuinely playing the game and shuffled my cards. So,
well, like you said, when you scoop, and now that I think about it, I think of the last, because we're still naturally saying, okay, I'm just gonna scoop. Let's go to game 2. Initial instinct is just like, let's just go ahead and shuffle everything.
Right, because
let's
you're
get
on
the game
the time
going.
limit.
Yeah,
because I've had people do that to me. Now that I think about it, and I don't recall them showing me their burst. So I'm like, but in that sense, they're scooping, like whatever. You're saying that you don't have anything, but I guess it's that natural instinct. Okay, let's go to game 3 real quick or game 2 because this game, man, like those of you guys are played at this, even this one in Tulsa. Those overtimes, man, bite you in the ass. Like, it's rough. It's rough, man. Like, every time I heard a judge, like, you're playing, and you think you have so much more time. Like, I remember I was playing against a purple-white player, and granted, that deck takes a little bit long anyways, but it didn't seem that long. And I remember just saying, Battle Spirit players, 30 minutes left, and I was like, God damn, where did all these time go already? Like, we're still in game 1. And I was like, oh, so we try to step it up. So, it's crazy.
And that's, responsibility for both players at the table.
Yes.
To kind of keep things going and keep each other accountable, but also show a little bit of compassion.
Yeah. I did play against someone who was playing a little slow, and I noticed it. I noticed it so much that I did take out my phone and start checking the time from when they would start thinking about their move to when they would take it, just because. And I didn't call a judge over or anything, but I was just like, I just want to be prepared and have information. So if I do need to call a judge over, I can say, hey, they started thinking about their move at 2:18. It's now 2:24.
Yeah, like, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
They probably only had like 5 or 6 cards in hand and like 3 things on the table. It's like, come on. Shit or get off the pot.
And I normally wouldn't do that, but it was like it kept happening. So I was like, I'm just going to like start keeping track of time just to be sure. But it ended up I think they were just a thinker.
Yeah, it's
they're just a big thinker.
People get analysis paralysis. It's high level again. Pressure's on, time limits on, like more pressure. Sometimes you just really need to math out those cores. But it's the the school field trip mentality. One time it ruined it for everybody. So you just got to be aware of that too.
Exactly.
Just play it by ear and just try not to be a douche.
Should we go through our matchups like round by round? Do you have those out? Do you have a list of those, Angel?
I do. Yeah, you can go ahead and start. I'll get mine out.
Yeah, so round 1. So here's the thing about my green aggro deck, and I learned this in testing. Yellow is my hardest matchup. I struggle against yellow. And so round 1, I go up against yellow.
Never fails.
And I lost hard. And it did not feel good.
What kind of yellow deck?
It was Michaela Luster.
Interesting. Oh wait, yeah, we talked about that.
It was Michaela Luster, but also with Blessed, and I'm pretty sure
it was not. It was not Luster that we know Luster, because I think that same player played on stream,
Yes.
in
So she
round
beat
two.
me.
Yep.
She beat me, and then she got selected to go to the top table, like the recorded table.
Yeah,
and
the
then part of
chat
me was
wanting
like,
to
oh,
see yellow.
yeah. And then part of me was like, oh man, that might have been me up there if I had won that game.
Sure.
But by the way, shout out to her though. Her name's I don't
Athena.
think she would mind me saying this. Athena, yeah.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was so
whoops.
cool, and that was her first. What she told me was that was her first ever tournament.
Hey,
So she played the
congrats.
game, and I was like, well, you know your deck, you're doing really well, because
Yeah.
she did so well, against me, and really played that matchup really well against Green Aggro, and
It was
just
a
like
cool deck.
honestly mopped the floor with it. Whatever I'm trying to say. She
Yeah.
murdered my deck basically, because she had the Michaela out, and she was like, exhaust Nexus, and I was like, ah shit, she killed a couple things, and then she was like, exhaust Nexus again, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh god, just wiped all of my green stuff off the board. And then the dual eagles always give me trouble.
Oh,
you know.
duel, baby.
So I lost round one, and that was not a great start. So how did your round one go, Angel?
So my round one, I lost as well. It was against Pterosaurus. I won. He won game one, so I was like, all right, cool. I see, because Pterosaurus is very weird. Either they're very heavy aggro, or sometimes it could be like a mid Pterosaurus. So I was trying to see how he was playing it. He was definitely more on the aggro side. So he beat me round one. Or game one. So we went to game two. I cited some stuff. I won game two. Game three, I don't know if I just got too comfortable or in my mind, I was just like, I got this. I can beat Pterosaurus. My deck is built for this, blah, blah. That I misplayed so hard. Like, I activated a Burning Force on I forget, I think it was Dino something. Basically, he's more than 3K. And when there's
Oh, the
he's at level 3.
Dynamantyranoid.
Yeah, so and as soon as he's like okay, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was like whatever. So at that point, I kind of got in my head at that point.
Yeah.
And he ended up just seeing Kagano and all that. I had no answer. Like my deck was weird, even though I power shuffled. Like I was either drawing all spirits or all magic. So
Yikes.
at least in game three. So I lost that. So that kind of like I was like whatever. X1. Let's get the loss early out of the way. So that was my first matchup. I said nothing crazy, nothing that I haven't beaten before, or vice versa. I've lost against. Which is a couple misplays and just the deck's gonna do what the deck's gonna do. And game three,
Yeah.
my deck said you're not gonna win this game, buddy. I was like,
Yeah.
it's just I even mulligan. And those of you guys that know me well, like I'm greedy. Like I do not like to mulligan. I want to have that extra card. But I even mulligan because I think my first hand was like 2 Madukes, a Curse, Star Bless. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna hold this hand. I need some spirits. So I mulligan. I draw two Thorn Prisons, a Suppression, an Absolute Ice Shield. And I'm like,
Wow.
alrighty. I could stall for a little bit, but eventually he just went too wide. That by the time I started
Yeah.
seeing my stuff,
Against
it didn't
aggro,
matter.
that's a bummer.
Yeah. So that was my
is
game
a
one.
bummer.
So it was kind of disappointing, but I was kind of glad I got the loss early. In my mind, I was like, all right, I'm X1. I
Yeah.
still have plenty of time, so let's go to round
Absolutely.
two.
Yeah.
So.
That was my mindset as well. I was like, and then when you and I met up, I think that was what we said. We were like, all right, we got our one and only loss of the
Yep.
whole thing
Right.
out of the
Yeah.
way. That's good.
We're
We got
still
plenty
good.
of time
Yep.
to rally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think game one hit me very hard though, the most. I want to say just mentally, because
Yeah.
I felt like we've been preparing so hard for this, right? Like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Ohio, like you guys remember, I was like,
You
I
had
didn't
a
lose
few
nothing
under
till
your
like
belt for a
I
while.
didn't lose till like round 6, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I started a lot earlier, and I didn't prepare like as good as I prepared this time around.
Isn't that
So
how
to me
it
it was kind of
goes?
like yeah, and to me it was like, man, I prepared so hard and I lost this, and like I guess I was beating myself up more. Like I should have had that matchup. It was an easy matchup. I had plenty of board wipe. It just between my deck not doing what it was supposed to do, and I think me misplaying. I was like, all right, let me just get out of my head. It's just
Yeah.
first round. I said, get out of the way. I even had re-sleeved the day before. I had told Eric, like I did it like late at night. I was like, I'm gonna put new sleeves. I want fresh pack. That way
Yep.
my cards don't stick. So
Well, that was kind of my problem with round one too, is that I was thinking to myself like, man, we play tested so much. I should have played more against yellow. I should have play tested this match more, because I was just like, I know that this is my hardest matchup. Why didn't I play test against it more? And I was kind of beating myself up, and I kind of had to be like, all right, shake it off, shake it off.
Right.
Like, it's fine. You can have one loss. That's okay. And I was like, most of these people aren't even playing yellow anyways, which, spoilers, I had to play against yellow more, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, you're playing against the other yellow players that also lost rounds.
Yeah,
Against,
exactly.
Some purple, white, and some green.
So,
yeah.
so round 2, I go up against green aggro, and it was actually the same exact deck that Tim Rivera brought to the event because it was one of his friends, and so they had been testing it together. Which, by the way, both of them were so pumped to get our Ant-Man Mecha Absolute BSS tokens, and so happy to see those pop up on the main stream. That was one of the highlights of the whole event for me. Was the fact that Tim Rivera was playing our tokens. That was so cool.
I was sitting in my living room, and my wife was like across the room, and I like pulled up the stream. We're like about to watch something else, but I have it up, and I just go, "Babe, Tim Rivera's using our tokens!" And she's like, "What? That's awesome!" And we were freaking out. I was like, "Eric's a genius." And people in the chat were like, "Oh, BSS tokens." I was like, "That's nice."
Which, by the way, and I wanted to talk about this at some point, so I guess now's a great time. Thank you to everyone who came up to us and said hello. Like, I had no idea that many. This is why you need to go, Cam.
Because I can't wait.
I had no idea that many people listen to the bullshit that we say on here. So, like, I had no idea that many people, like our show. And there were some people who hadn't heard of us that I gave plenty of tokens to. It's so much fun to give those to people because everybody has so much fun playing with those or just looking at them, and
they're so cool, man.
It's cool. That was the highlight of the event for me, was the meeting people there, and then also like our friend, you were saying Varric. I don't know if it's Varric or Varrock or we know his real name, but I'll not share it just in case he doesn't want that. I don't know, but man, it was so cool to meet you too, because you showed us around, and like we'll talk about it a bit later, but like he showed us some cool places. But
I think that's the highlight too. I agree with Eric. We were talking about it. Like, I think there was one time, I think when I was waiting, maybe it was like on a break or something. I was watching the stream, just standing up, and a guy stands next to me, and he couldn't even see like the BSS shirt. Maybe just because I had my hat, like I usually do. I don't have it today, but I usually have my hat. And he like looked over. He's like, "You're that dude from the podcast." I was like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He's like, "The rest of the guys here?" I was like, "Well, Eric's here, but not Cam." And I think we had the other guy that we both had gone to, and like I said, it was pretty cool because a lot of times, you never know who's listening, right?
Yeah.
And then me and him were joking like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Hey, more people listen than we think, so let's not get beat up and be careful what we say." I was like, "Yeah, go from there." But I will say this: the one thing I love about the Grand Opens, and it happened again at this one, is like, and really any event with card games, it's the people that you meet. Because I want to say we went in expecting to meet Varric, Varrock, however you say it. My bad if I'm butchering it, but I ended up like adding more people to my Discord, or tell them about our Discord as well. Like, "Oh, let me add you. Hey, here's some tokens. Come." And I think that's the coolest part, right? Just kind of like you make new friends. You kind of match up on the same energy. And like I said, it's very cool to see people listening and dealing with all our nonsense and burps and wackiness, whatever we do here, horn noises, whatever we do. So,
I almost played it again.
No, feel free, go for it. It doesn't matter.
She's in REM cycle right now.
Wake up my girlfriend in the middle of her sleep. Got to keep her on her toes. But also Overlord Ubel, another new member of the podcast. And sorry if I'm not giving shout outs to everyone. There was just and it sounds like
there's so many people now.
Starlight was another one. So shout out to Starlight.
Yeah,
Starlights. Or Skylights.
Maybe it's
Skylights.
And everyone.
But Overlord
doing the Q&As on the Spotify and like commenting on YouTube and subscribing to YouTube. Like, we do see that, and we do really appreciate y'all. So
I mean, to be clear, at the end of the day, I think the reason we started doing this and the reason we keep doing it is because we have so much fun doing it, and it's really, not to sound selfish, but it's mostly for us.
Yeah, like we were gonna do it regardless, but it is cool to have people getting on board, and like and we get to like just hang out with other people who like the same shit as us. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
interact
That's awesome.
opinions, so it's cool.
Yeah.
And it's cool to have that
And
support too, like people, hey,
Yeah.
good luck everybody. Like that's awesome to feel, especially with a community. Like for us at least talking locally, our community is pretty small where we're at, that it's kind of nice that we have that other states
Yeah.
or other, complete cities support and going to these shows and people recognizing and supporting. So definitely appreciate everybody that's listening or watching.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome point. It makes me feel like our community is so much bigger that, like we're part of a larger community, which is cool. And we have like our own little niche community here in our Discord, but we're also like now, even if somebody's not in our Discord, like maybe they know who we are, we know who they are, and we can kind of just chat and hang out. But anyways, back to round 2. Aggro Ants. I went up against the Tim Rivera build. I would believe it was his friend John that I played against. And I ended up taking that one. To be honest, I think he just didn't see the pieces he needed to see. And I saw all the pieces that I needed to see. So it was a really cool deck, really good deck, and he's a very good player. But I think, you know how it is sometimes. You just don't draw the stuff you need to draw. So, but it was cool to, we got our game over with in like, I think we were done with our match in like 15 or 20 minutes. So we did just spend some time sitting there chatting. And that's when I found out he and Tim and I guess maybe some other people showed up all playing the same deck. And they realized when they arrived that they did not have ant tokens with them. So when I gave them ant tokens or when Angel gave them ant tokens, whichever one of us gave it to them, it was like we were sent from the heavens.
Awesome.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Destiny.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad.
Yeah. So I'm glad we were able to hook them up. I don't know if they would have played with them if they had regular tokens, but I like to think so. Yeah. So thanks for playing with our tokens. That was cool.
That was very, very cool.
What about your round 2, Angel?
So my round 2 was the most dreaded match that I knew I'll be facing would be Purple White. So I played against Purple White. They won game 1. I won game 2. This is usually how it goes with Purple White. And game 3 was going to be a typical showdown, like whose side cards are going to come and be seen first, So game 3 went into overtime. And, shout outs to the player. He was playing at a super good pace, right? Go ahead. If you didn't have anything, go ahead. So we were playing. We were both playing that mind game. Like, all right, what does he have? We don't want to overextend. He doesn't want to overextend. But by this point though, I'm not gonna lie. Like I had to pee so bad. Like, my mind, like no joke. Like I was sweating. Like I was to the point where like, man, do I just take this loss because I'm about to pee myself? Like I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like I'm shaking my leg. I'm trying to play as fast as I can and then finally say, hey, you guys got the 5 minutes and 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm like, all right, cool. So I draw. I went for it, right? I played Maduke. I had popped his elephant somehow. I forget what I had done. So he drew three cards, ramped up. I attacked with Maduke, and he dream bombed. And I was like, okay, you got it. And he showed me his hand. I want to say he drew all 3 of his dream bombs off the elephant. So it wouldn't have mattered. Like it wouldn't have mattered. At that point, I was like, I had it. Like part of me was like, so it's 2 things. I was relieved because I had to go pee. So I was like, I'm gonna go run over here and try to shuffle. But then at this point, I was really kind of starting to get nervous and kind of like, not upset. It's very like, man, I'm X2 now. Like I already lost. It's only been 2 hours. I've already lost both my matchups, and they're both matchups that, like I said, I would have had. Right, I won the game that I needed to win. I kind of knew how to play. I mean, I've been playing against those decks since Ohio and playtesting. I know how to do against it. It's not like my deck can't handle them. But same thing on game 3. At this point, like I think I told Eric about it. I was really frustrated. Like, man, I don't know what was going on with my deck. Like, I shuffled, I power shuffled, and I normally don't ever power shuffle during tournaments. I think it's kind of like a risk sometimes. But I literally power shuffled multiple times. I tried new different ways of shuffling, and my cards were still doing the exact same thing. I checked my sleeves, they weren't sticking. It was the same scenario, right? Either all spirits or all magic, or even if I mulligan. I want to say game 3 I had mulligan again. And it was very similar to the first game. I drew like 2 Thorn Prisons, I think a Curse and a Bacillus. And I'm like, what? And then I think my starting hand was what was my starting hand? I want to say it was an Absolute Ice Shield, Star Blast, a Depths, and a Suppression. I was like, where are my spirits? Like, literally on game 2 when I was starting stuff in, and I would go through my deck, you literally would see 3 Dragonite together, 3 Elementals together. I'm like, so I was trying to like, stack them, power shuffle again, and it was just like, so I was very disappointed. Like after round 2, I was X2 at that point. I even texted my wife. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on, but I guess this is gonna be the type of game. She was like, don't get frustrated. I think she's joking me. She was like, no, she was like, wow, buddy. I was like, you lost. It's like, I was like, I'm X2, and she sent me like an Austin Powers gift, like, I've lost my mojo or something like that, because I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, I've lost 2 games now that the matchups were in a way favorable, right? Like nothing crazy that I haven't played against.
Yeah.
My deck, was drawing weird, and at this point, I think me and Eric had a power at this point when after I went out the bathroom.
I was gonna say we had a little huddle by the bathroom.
Yeah, I think because at this point I was like, hey man, like I don't know what's going on. So I think I took out my deck one more time and shuffled again. And I was like, well, I used jokingly, I was like, well, I just can't lose the rest of the day, He was X1, so he was kind of okay. But we both said, like, we just can't lose the rest of the game. I was like, yeah. And all my buddies that had texted were supporting me. Yeah, just easy, man. Just win the rest. You got it. I'm like, oh, it's easier said than done. I was like, I could do it, just my deck is not doing it. So it was, I think that was a wake-up call for me, though, at that point. Like, and we'll get into it later on, but the rest of the rounds, I was, like, laser focused. Like, anything that I could do, I was gonna do right, and I try to win the games. As soon as I got done, I would try to shuffle, and I would talk. I think I know this one time I even talked to my deck. I was like, "What are you doing to me?"
Yeah.
I was like, why? I was like, why? I even said, "Did you not like the sleeves? You want new sleeves? Like, what's going on?" Because that has never ever happened to me. And in Ohio, I played 9 rounds, and that never happened. And I didn't power shuffle at all in Ohio. And in this one, I was actually doing that, and and I was like, "What in the world's going on right now?" So it was weird, man. But like I said, that was my round 2. I lost it, so I was X2. I was nervous and depressed a little bit. I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go out like this, all this testing for nothing."
Feels bad. Yeah,
it does.
And someone's got to go 0-2. Like,
I
know how that feels.
I think our little huddle by the bathroom though gave both of us like a nice push into the next games, where I think you and I both got very serious. We were like, we got to keep winning. And then I immediately lost my round 3, so I'll talk about that. So
after a powwow, I lose.
Yeah. So I sat across from a yellow player, and it was Fabled Beast Blessed. And it was like my absolute worst matchup, but it makes sense because they were 1-1 and I was 1-1, so that's how it goes. So yeah, I lost in that matchup, and I really don't have much more to say about that, except I was thinking about the little huddle that Angel and I just had, and I was like, all right, I need to not lose any more games. And I'll pass it off to you, Angel, to talk about your round 3. But
so my round 3 was the turn of the century I needed, I guess. My little slap on the wrist. I actually won round 3. It was against the Purple Mirror. I went 2-1 in that game. They were playing some sort of like Nemesis purples. I don't even want to call it a mirror, but it was purple doing purple things. I won game 1. Game 2, he won because I got greedy. I didn't mulligan this time around, and he went wide. Like literally by turn 3 or 4, he had like 3 Camelot Knights. Maybe it was purple aggro that I played. He had like 3 Camelot Knights, and Agavale, and I was like, swing. I'm like, cool, I'll take it. I went down to 2 life like I normally do, and I draw. And it's like, oh, guess what it is? Starburst draw, nothing that I need right now. So I was like, I activated it. I drew 2 Thorn Prisons. So I'm like, all right, so I activated, but he was too wide at that point. So I lost game 2, and then game 3 I decided I did a crazy power shuffle again.
Yep.
And I ended up taking it pretty quickly. I think I won like by round or by turn 4 or 5. I think he just drew crappy.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a nice little like, all right, I won my first one. So that's usually the hardest one to get after your X2. So I got my first one. Well, let me phrase that. It's usually the easiest one to get because you're usually playing against other people that are not, know. From this point on, I was like, mentally, I could get him out of my head. My deck did exactly what it was supposed to be doing this whole time. I felt like my hands were looking a little bit better. Game 3, I think it was, looked better. So cool, maybe my deck's responding now, and maybe that's what my deck needed. Here you go. Maybe you're just messing with me. You're gonna lose 2 because I'm gonna give you a scare, and you're gonna win this one. So I won that one. So I kind of felt pretty good. And then when I found out Eric had lost his, I was like, oh man, we swapped. It's like the conversation helped me, but it kind of hurt you, I think. So it's just like.
Well, we're on the same record now at this point. So.
Yeah. I think the rest of the day we kind of stayed table by table, if I remember correctly.
Yep, we stayed together for the rest of the day.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
So round 4, I go up against Nova Star Dragons, which
Nova.
was a very fun deck. And I'm so glad, Angel, that you and I play tested against your
Yeah,
Nova
we
deck
talked a lot
because
about that on last week's episode about Nova showing up.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have done very well if we wouldn't have play tested against Nova, because I knew what to expect. I knew to like hold back a little bit so that they don't get the full value out of Big Bang Energy, but then to swing in all at once to like kind of close out the game, or to like take a couple chips here and there, but then, you know, not give them the full value on the Big Bang Energy. This was, I believe, and I'm really sorry if I'm wrong about this, but I'm like 99% sure this was actually Overlord Ubel, who is now in our Discord, who I played against, and it was a fun game. It was a super fun game. Also, we had a lot of conversation about Gundam stuff because we're
Nice.
both big Gundam.
Nice.
So it was honestly, that was a really fun one, and it was fun to play against Star Dragons. Honestly, I think I got that just because he never saw Nova. Nova never showed up.
That'll do it.
That just happens sometimes. He did play that other Star Dragon where 2,000 or fewer BP cannot deal damage to life while it's out.
Yeah, we were talking.
I can't
about
remember
that
which one that is exactly.
Comet
I don't know.
Dragon Sungrazer. No, wait. No, that's not
no.
it.
No.
No, it's not
no.
that one. I jumped
It's
the gun on that one.
actually not that one.
That was a quick. That was like, no.
Actually, fuck you, Cam.
No, because I know
I'm
that one's the
looking for
tournament
it.
pack promo one. That's not it. It's
Divine
sorry.
Halberd Dragon Arc. There it is.
Exactly. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. That one. Yeah, that one did make me pause a little bit. I had to. I think
like
I had to
this guy.
dream bomb it. I think he was sitting there feeling pretty good about it because like my little dudes couldn't get in, and then I think I dream bombed it and Thorn prisoned and got in. So, but yeah, it was a fun game. I love playing against Nova Star Dragons. I want to play some Star Dragons and
I
get
do
really
too.
good with them because I think they're really fun. And I was so glad to see Star Dragons make a bit of an appearance at the Grand Open. So.
Yeah.
Star Dragons are cool, man. Like I said, I had fun playing against you when we were playtesting, even though that deck wasn't really serious. I built it together, pretty quickly, but it was fun just playing it, and just how crazy you can just swing a turn so quickly just by Big Bang Energy, right? So it's just like,
Yep.
it's one of those things where like, oh, I'm down on 1 life. All right, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Nova, 5 life. 8 freaking big old dragons. Like, let's go.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, you have to be careful if you're playing aggro that you don't give them that because they will fuck you up. Like, if you get them down to 2 or 1 and then they Big Bang Energy into Nova, the game's over at
It
that
feels
point.
bad.
Like,
I played against
what are you
Nova
gonna do?
at Gen Con, and it was I've never played against Nova, so I walked right into it, and then I just kind of assumed like that's just what you do. So I did not change my strategy against it. I just got kind of lucky with the top deck Ant because I was also playing like wide green with some purple stuff.
yeah.
And
The
but yeah,
queen-
they can punish you, man. Nova's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to know your
Yeah.
matchups in this game because cards like that exist and they can absolutely ruin.
Well, it punishes you because like now you just gave him a whole board basically for nothing, right? Either 1 cost or 0 cost at sometimes. They got their whole life back.
Yeah.
And now they have board wipe, right? With Nova, I think it's up to 10,000 BP. So just like
10,000, yes.
it's crazy. And that deck doesn't use the soul core. So many people are like, oh, you're not gonna be able to use soul core. Soul core does not matter in that
gives a
deck
shit?
at
Yeah.
all. At all.
Yeah.
The soul core's only needed for that 5 life. So now they have basically double the ramp now because now anything that you took away, plus the new life they got, plus they're board wiping you, and there's some pretty strong effects. I mean, there's not
Nuts.
much that can survive a 10 BP wipeout,
Yeah.
So it's Nova's scary, man. It's just one of those things, though, right? You gotta have the full piece of the combo to see it. Even watching your matchup, like you were talking about Cam at Gen Con, I think it was. I can tell you, he even told us like he just wasn't seeing what he needed. He had one, but not the other, or vice versa. So, and I think that top deck of Queen was really kind of like, oh yeah, that's it. I was like,
yeah, that match was nuts because like it was the third game. So the first game I was being a little reserved, got destroyed by Nova. Second game I went really aggro and was able to stop it before it happened. Third game I went a little not aggro enough, got Nova'd, rebuilt a board, got wiped, and then held on barely and was able to top deck a queen to get a couple of ant tokens out and push through the final win, but because he couldn't get that health back a second time. But it was crazy. It was ridiculous, and now I will never ever underestimate a Nova list like that ever again.
I think it was like 2 or 3 Novas at this Grand Open, if I can remember correctly. People were talking about there was a few Nova decks popping out, which we called it. I said I think there's gonna be some Nova decks at this Grand Open. Like,
yeah.
I'm glad there is though, right? Because I think there really is room for Nova in this meta. It's just what that build is yet, who knows, or what needs to happen to make it, I guess, more consistent. So you do see all the pieces at one time. Which with red, I mean, you have so much draw ability in red that I think it's not far off from really being tweaked. And maybe, who knows, lore set maybe will help out, because me and Eric were talking about this. Some of the lore set cards, I think red first, it looks like. So maybe that somehow will help the Nova decks. I don't know, just theory crafting, but shout out to Nova players.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge shout out as well. When I built my deck for this event, I didn't think that this was going to be such an MVP card in my deck, but the singleton of charged draw in my deck.
There you go. I'm loving that card more and more.
Well, so I'm playing 4 Star Blessed in my green aggro, just for draw power, because I don't run Nexuses at all. And I was like, man, I wish I had a 5th Star Blessed draw. Like, I wish I could just fit in another one. And then I was like, oh, I just run Charge Draw. It's kind of the same thing. It's just I have to play it from my hand. And almost every single time I played Charge Draw, Star Blessed Draw, whatever, like in my deck, people were commenting like, damn, I didn't know that you could do that, and like green would just draw so much. Like, because that kind of is what green needs, is more draw power.
Yeah,
it and
just
then
needs
like
to
they
see those 0 and 1 cost bodies and get them onto the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and honestly, actually, I'll get into that in a minute, but because I don't know that you talked about your round 4 yet, have you, Angel?
No. You want? I can tell you real quick. So round 4, I played against actually a buddy of mine. I won't say his name in case he doesn't want his name on here, but we actually played at Gen Con as well, and it was against Green Exhaust. And my God, I even joked with him. As soon as I saw his name on the BCP app, I was like, man, I think this is him, but I couldn't remember his last name. And he walked up to the table. He's like, well, we meet again. I was like, yes, we do. And he was like, you playing the same thing as Gen Con? I was like, a little bit. I switched it up a bit. I was like, He's like, you're about to find out. And in my mind, I was like, God damn it, I hope it's not the same thing. Because that deck, Green and Sauce, is really annoying for me, and especially for my deck, right? Because it just tap. So I ended up winning 2-1, which is actually the exact same thing that happened at Gen Con. He won game 1. He started off with freaking Tarantula, discarded my hand. At this point, game 1, because my deck was being funny this time around, I had a mulligan, so I only had 4 cards instead of 5. And it feels pretty bad when you have to discard your card turn 1. So I was like, slim pickings. So I did that. And then I think like turn 2 or 3, he activated another one. And then he had the Hunger Tree guy. So like he was like wiping out my hand. So at that point, I ran out of resources, obviously. So he won game 1. Game 2, I sided. I took game 2 because I played a little bit more aggressive. Game 3, same thing as Gen Con, was very close. He ended up summoning Takawa. And my God, that card's annoying as hell. Like, it's like he would attack, exhaust, do the core thing, refresh, exhaust again. Luckily, game 3, I had a few Dream Bombs and Absolute Ice Shield, and then I ended up going into the back of his Curse Dragon combo, which kind of helped Board White. But it was definitely a fun matchup. You know, I love playing against him. He's very humble. He's actually the one that later on let me play with some of his original Battle Spirit cards to see what blue can do, and blue's gonna be crazy. But yeah, it was actually a fun game. Even though I was stressed out still, right? Because I had to win. I mean, I had to win the rest of my rounds. It's always fun playing against people that you already know, right? Because it just makes the game more enjoyable. You kind of know what each other's play style's like. Yeah. Me and Eric were joking. I was like, man, are we going to face each other now, though? Because like, that would suck because we had the same record. I was like, I hope we don't face each other. That's going to suck, you know, because we both need to win. But I played against them. Like I said, so at this point, I was 2-2. So once again, as far as like confidence, I was slowly kind of getting my mojo back. Because my wife has sent me the little Austin Powers. I got my mojo back, baby. I was like, not yet. So at this point, I'm in neutral ground, you know. But yeah, Green Exhaust, very, very fun deck. I think he was having fun with it. Green doing scary green things, you know, and I would literally say that greens can be even scarier the more and more support it gets, because it's a deck that does a lot of crazy, wacky things, man. Does a lot of different things. So I like it. So
Do you feel that your playtesting against me really helped you with that match?
yeah, I think we had talked about this. Even though it wasn't like an aggro build, it was still green. It did help me kind of reserve when to push, when not to push. You know, when not to exhaust all my creatures. So I definitely it was. I want to say it was game 3. I was very slow with it, and he even said it. I think he was like, "Oh, you going a little bit slower?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You're probably gonna exhaust these anyways," but I was like, "I'm just gonna slow it down because I know what you're trying to do." And you know, against you when we play testing, I go in, get greedy, I swing, and then you like throw in prison, need a shot. I'm like, oh, now you exhausted my whole board, so now I'm screwed, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say this: you talking about MVP cards. My MVP card, I'm glad we added these in, was suppression. Suppression was
Yeah.
really what helped me against this matchup because I could still use it on my exhausted spirits, and that's all he was doing, exhausting everything, tapping everything out. So suppression came in clutch for sure. So
Absolutely.
Suppression's good.
Uh, uh, that that's a good transition to the next round for me because I went up against purple, and I truly feel like the fact that I play tested against you so much helped me in that matchup immensely because um, I, I knew how to play around a lot of what was going on and exactly when to exhaust their stuff. And I was really hoping to play against more purple all day. And there was a lot of it there. I just didn't get paired up with it because I felt so prepared for the
Yeah.
purple matchup. And so I actually, I can't remember if it was this game or the next round. Sorry for spoilers here, but I played against purple again in the next round. But in fact, I'll just kind of lump these two together and then let Angel talk about the next 2 rounds. But I won both of my matchups against purple. So round 5 and round 6 were both purple. I won both of those. King Vulture, shout out to King Vulture in the sideboard, came in clutch.
I love
The
that
Burning
card.
Forces.
That's
I
good.
just had lots of answers. Pretty much my entire sideboard was built for answers around purple. I had the Dream Bomb from a Duke. I had the Burning Force and the King Vulture, the extra Burning Forces and the King Vulture for Netherworld Depths. So I felt very prepared. Honestly, my biggest realization going up against purple is just if you have, even though I want to go fast because I'm aggro, if you have the ability to, when they drop the depths, slow down and just try to draw into your answer for the depths, or if they have the little amethystis, wait until they
Yeah.
drop it down to 1 core because they always do because they're doing some, cost reduction shenanigans. They drop their Maduke or whatever, but now their amethystis is down to 1 core. That's the time you hit it because if you can just stop them from drawing cards, they will run out of gas. And that
Period.
was kind of like the big move there. And honestly, I feel like I would not have known to do that unless I play tested against Angel's deck so much. Is just whenever possible, do not give them draws if you can. If they have depths down, don't swing. Just wait. Wait for the opportune moment. Swing in if you think you can win. Like
Yeah.
if like even though they're going to draw stuff, if they don't have a burst set and like they're going to have to play their ice shield from hand that they top deck off of a Netherworld Depths, like that's still a pretty good turn for you because you got them shaking in their boots. They're just praying for a good top deck. Like
Yep.
that still works, but you got to play around the depths. You got to play around the amethystis, and I won both of my matchups against purple. I will say though, round 6, that was the guy who told me about the game loss thing. Super nice guy. But also, man, that last game, I think both of us were just like, after that game, we both were just like, oh, because it got to a point where it was so close. I was shaking after that game. Like it was like,
Jeez.
because the game also mattered so much because it was round 6 and it was like, for both of us, I think it was like, if we lose this, I think we're out of the top 32.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyways,
there
that
was a
was
small window for X3. I forget what the percentage was. Like a
Yeah.
small amount of people could have been X3, but that was all depending on your tiebreakers, which we all know how those tiebreakers are. That you shouldn't count on those. So we were like, you have to stay at X2. Like you just have to at least be guaranteed.
Yep. So that was my round 5, round 6. I played around the depths. I played around the amethystis. I got the win both times against purple. And then I moved into 29th place at that point, which was nice. But Angel, what about you for rounds 5 and 6?
So round 5, I played against Yellow Blessed. Not that I struggle against Yellow, but Yellow's just annoying. Yellow does so many things, and they can go wide. So I actually
Real
ended up
quick,
winning that.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Angel, have you and I ever played Battle Spirits against each other?
No, we have not.
I don't think we have.
Really?
No, yeah,
I
we have
just
not.
realized that.
Yeah, we have not.
What?
Yeah.
Angel and
The
I
one
have
time I think
never
that one
played a
time we were
game
going
against-
to, well, I joined you and Eric were playing. I think you hopped off for a little bit, and then you were
Yeah.
gonna hop back on, but you never did. So
I
it's
know.
like, yeah. But yeah, no, actually, we've never have played.
That's
And I-
crazy.
And I don't think we've played. Have we played against each other in real life in any of the events or even at locals?
No.
Me and Eric have in locals as
Yeah.
a championship.
You and I have never
Yeah.
played a game of
We've
Battle
never played
Spirits
that.
together.
We're gonna have to change that. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to change that.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
was
was
just
playing Camp
thinking,
favorite
like,
deck
yeah.
Yellow.
Yeah, exactly. I was
I figured, yeah. I was like,
wow.
But-
We've got our yellow testing partner right here, and we're not utilizing him.
we're gonna have to force him to play now. It's
'Cause
like,
you
hey,
get-
I need to practice in Yellow.
It's because Alice
Yellow-
just drains your entire like.
I don't even think he
mood.
had Alice. It's just the whole dual eagle
Dual Eagle's
and all
crazy.
the the luster and the blast is just freaking annoying because you think you're winning and all of a sudden it's just like, all right, now I've ramped back my life up. So I ended up winning the game overall, but it was 2-1. Game one, he just bore. I mean, he went super wide. So I ended up siding some suppressions, and then what else did I sided? I sided something else here. I had what was my side deck? I got it real quick. Oh, I sided into Dream Bombs as well for the Arcana Jokers, because that's what he did game
Yeah.
one. He beat me with that. So game two, I got it, and then game three, which is kind of like it was a scary man because he had like Blessed Cathedral and two of the Phantasmal Nexuses, so he was like outdrawing me like crazy. But I just kept swinging with Worker Ant-Man and Dragonaga just to get one core ramp, one turn. I would draw one turn just to see what I needed. And I ended up taking that. Super awesome guy. Super friendly. So that was round 5. So once again, now I'm 3-2. So I'm on like a super high. I think at this point, I think I'm still like number, I don't know, 40 something. Because you were higher than me. I remember that. I think it was like, or maybe I was like high 38 or something like that. I know Eric was higher than me, so I had to win the.
I was 29th after round 6. I don't remember what I was.
Okay,
before
so
then, but
so it was round 6 that I was 26 then because I won round 6. So
Okay.
round 6 I played against Blood Curse Maduke. So game 1 was crazy, right? Like I think it was like a turbo Maduke because game 1 he summoned Maduke like I want to say it felt like it was like turn 4 or 5. It was like something crazy,
Jeez.
but he summoned Maduke. He was overextending. He summoned Maduke with only 1 core on it. And I forgot. I think he had a Dark Lancer on field as well with 1 core. And I looked at my hand. I had Curse of Dragon. So and I literally sacked 2 of my spirits that turn. Like when it was my turn again, just to purposely summon Curse. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to do this now.
Yeah.
I have to get rid of Maduke at that point. And at that point, he scooped right away. He's like, yeah, you got this. I shouldn't have done that. I was like, when you did that, I was like, you just summoned Maduke with 1 core on it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do this now. So he ended up scooping. We went to game 2. I should have had game 2. I opened the perfect. I think it was the only time that day that I opened the perfect hand. I opened Depths, the Elemental guy, Zero, Absolute Ice Shield, and I forgot what else. So I was like, cool, I can play Depths turn 2, whatever. So he goes second. He chooses to go second. So I go first. I play the Elemental guy, pass turn. He goes, does his thing. I go. And for whatever reason, I don't know, it's just exhaustion at this point. I'm hungry, whatever. I literally just say go. Literally 6 cores sitting right there for me to play depths, and I don't play depths. I say go. He goes. He summons Agaville. I forget what else. Swing. I don't have depths out. I can't draw. Whatever. So turn 3 goes. I have like 2 life down, and I just like, yeah, you got it, man. I mean, there was nothing I could do. It was too late. Like if I would have played the depths, I think I would have drawn to some other stuff. It gave me, or maybe slowed him down from attacking me so much.
Sure.
So at that point, I was like so mad at myself. I was like, why did I just misplay that? Like that's just dumb. Like I need to win this game. I've been, undefeated so far. I need to win this game. So game 3, like I get super serious, man. Like I'm not even talking anymore. I'm super slowed down. And then it was a really close match. I mean, he summoned Maduke. I dream bombed it. I summoned Maduke. He dream bombed it. He summoned another Maduke. I dream bombed it again.
Wow.
And I think eventually I ended up winning because I was ramping every single turn with Worker Ant-Man. I think by turn 7 or 8, I was able to go wide. I summoned 2 Madukes. Again, no, I had 1 Maduke because he had bounced back. Bacillus, Curse. I actually went wide. I just won free game. It was very close match, game 3. and it was fun. I mean, he even said it was one of his favorite matches for the day. And I had fun with it. I was just upset because I don't think I needed to go to game 3. I could have had it at game because I drew the perfect hand that I needed, and I just misplayed. I just couldn't get over that. I was like, why did I do that? So I slowed down. I think at that point you had came over, and I ate like a granola bar or something. I was like, I just need to eat. I need to like get me out because we're about to go to round 7, the last round, and I cannot be misplaying like that. So
Yeah.
and
both of us are like, both of us are like, we need to win this round.
Yeah. At that
So
point,
did you
at
both
that point,
go into round 7 X2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because at that point, I think you were, what was it, 20 something? I was like 26 or 24.
I was
whatever it
29th. Yeah.
So I was 26
Yeah.
then. I was 20. So at that point, literally, it was like, we just have to. We even said it. We're here. We were playing almost next to each other the whole rest of the day. And I think that this last round, we sat right next to each other. At first, I was like, man, are we about to play each other? Like, what's going on? But no, it was like
that would have been the worst.
Like, and we had to win. Like, we both said it. We just have to win this next one. Let's go. I was feeling kind of a high, a little bit nervous because of what the misplay. But I think you ate your Snickers and I ate my granola bar.
Yeah.
And then before we go, I guess, into the final round, do you want to talk about your little mishap with your shields?
Oh, so my sleeves were a little jacked up from shuffling all day. So I was like, this is a high level event. I don't want to get like a game loss for my sleeves or something. Like, let me just re-sleeve. I bought these brand new sleeves while I was here before the event started, just because I was like, I want to have these on hand just in case I need them. So I start re-sleeving my deck because I've got some time. I have Dragon Shield Snow dual mats. I start sleeving up my deck. I unsleeve my deck and then I start sleeving them in the new sleeves. Those sleeves were so jacked up. They were brand new sleeves from the box. I just opened them and they were like marked all up and down the sides. I was like, I can't play with these. Someone's going to think I'm cheating.
Oh no.
So
you had the deck and you could see like the curvature on the, like it was a weird, just faded. Like it was weird, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you seriously, like, it looked like someone took a Sharpie on one side. On the other side, it looked like someone took a Sharpie and put little dots on it.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Yeah. So I went over to the stand where they were selling these, which, by the way, this reminds me, they told me to email Dragon Shield and complain. Because I told them, I went and showed them this, and I was like, I literally cannot play with these. Like, if it was casual, kitchen table, whatever, but, like, I will get kicked out of this event if I sleeve up with these.
Yeah, our
and
podcast
they will drag you out.
Yeah.
They were so nice about it though, because apparently I was the second person who had this problem, and they just gave me. They took those sleeves and they gave me a brand new set of sleeves of a different color for free to replace them. So all turned out okay. I did not have enough time to re-sleeve now though, so I just kept my old sleeves. And I was like, I'm just going to hope for the best. But I didn't need that right before the last round because I'm not going to say that that's why I lost, because it's not why I lost. But it did kind of tilt me a little bit. Like, like going into the last round, like wanting to have fresh sleeves, and I didn't have that. But so yeah, final round. I'm going to tell it. And Angel, you add your story into this as well. But I'm going to kind of tell it for both of us a little bit just because... Well, I don't know. I don't want to steal your thunder, but just because I was paying attention to your game and I want to share some things. But
you're good. Go ahead. It's no big deal.
So last round, I'm going up against Pterosaurs. And so game 1, he gets it. He has like Giganorex. He has everything, You know what, Angel? I'm not going to share your part because I don't want to steal it from you. But
you can add to it later. You can add to it later than what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll add it to you. I'll add to it later. But I lose game 1. We go to game 2. He just doesn't see anything. He doesn't see anything he needs, and I scoop that one up pretty fast. Like I win. Then we go to game 3, and man, it is bad. He has like double Giganorex. He like suppressed one of the Rexes when I swing in. Like it was I just got clobbered and I lost. And it was honestly, it felt so much worse to make it that far and then lose in the final round than it would have if I had just gotten that loss in round 3 or round 2 or whatever. Like, because it was like Angel and I were both so close, and we were like, we said earlier in the day, like, no. Well, here we go. I'll just play this.
No bad luck this time. We did say
We
that.
said-
No bad luck this
Yeah,
time.
no bad luck this time. We were like, we're gonna just not lose for the rest of the day, and then
we
we
weren't.
did it.
Yeah.
We did it. We did that, and then I lost in the last round. And I just, look, I keep thinking back on it. I'm like, did I misplay? Did I do something wrong? I don't think I did. I think it was literally just he saw what he needed to see. I got outplayed. Like the pterosaurs were just big and hard for me to deal with my little ants, and it was like a bad matchup. He was a good player. He drew the right cards. I drew good cards, but they weren't good enough. So I don't feel bad about the loss so much as just like, man, why did that have to happen?
Right.
But it did at least make me feel good that I don't think I misplayed anything. So it wasn't like, a huge upset. It was kind of just a little disappointing. But
Yeah.
anyways, Angel, go ahead and talk about your game.
Yeah, so we were both where Eric was saying, going to a high, like, man, we got this. It literally felt like Duelist Kingdom, man. Like I felt like it was like Joey Wheeler and Yami. Like we were both like underdogs, and we started off the day. I mean, more me than Eric, because Eric at least was X1 for a little bit, but like I still felt like, all right, we can't lose anymore. At some point, we're both X2, right? So it's like we have to win, and being at the final table together, like literally, like I was here, and Eric was like right next to me, so we can both pay attention to each other's game. It felt good. I was like, man, we're about to do this. Or I get the invite. So, in the middle of my game, I was actually also focusing on Eric's game, just trying to listen to what I could. And I was surprised he had lost because I think I either heard the guy say the scoop or whatever. So in my mind, I thought they were just talking about their cards in their deck while I was finishing my match. And when I had asked him at the end, hey, so you got it? He said, no, I lost. I was like, what? I was like mind shot. I was like, what? I was like, I could have swore I had it. But on my round, I played. Of course, I had to end the round against Purple White again. So play Purple White, and Purple White is literally it's 50-50, right? You either win or you don't win. Like I mean that's any game, but with Purple versus Purple White, that's really how it is. Either who draws the depths first, or who gets the axe biters, or who gets that. So I played against, I used his Discord name, Medi. Super nice guy, awesome guy. Shout outs to him. We both kind of agreed that was our favorite. Not even just because we both needed that match, but it's just like it was just a fun match, right? It was really a mental skill match because he was a really good player. And he even gave me shout outs that was like one of the better purple players that he's faced against. Like you had to pilot that deck very carefully and go that. So game one, he wins, right? I think he summoned Axe Biter like turn 2. He had like Axe Biter. So at that point, I'm trying to tag, the suppressions, Infinity Shields, all that stuff starts coming out. Eventually, I just ran out of resources, so he won that. Game 2, I side, he sides, and this is the guy I was talking about where he had sided wrong because he was round 6. He was sitting next to me. I think he just saw my Axe Biter, and I think he assumed I was playing Purple White, so he sided in heavy against a Purple White matchup. And then, but I wasn't playing. We were joking about it later on. But so game 2 goes. He doesn't see what he can see. I go like Maduke pretty quickly. So he's like thinking about everything he can do because I got Maduke out with 6 cores. I have the Dragonaga, and now it has Blood Curse. I had another creature out there that had Blood Curse as well. He goes, I slow down him. I would attack with Maduke on purpose because I had 2 suppressions in hand. So I'm like, I'm just gonna like bluff and I'm gonna attack because he's either gonna block or you're gonna take it and lose a core to the void. So that goes out. He passes turn right again. I go again. I summon another Maduke. And at that point, he even said, yeah. Once he did double Maduke, it didn't matter. So I think he ended up scooping. He's like, yeah, you got it. I have no answer to this. So I won. So I ended up winning, and I placed 18. So close from being the top. Yeah. So definitely no bad luck that time. But it was like it was a really good experience, and I will say this: I felt I came out of that event a better player, right?
That's
because
the goal,
as
man.
the day went out, I learned for myself, just kind of like my frustrations. I learned, stuff with my deck, but also playing at those high, like you could not lose the rest of the day, and other players had the same mentality. That this skill was like intensified. Like the last 2 rounds, like round 6 and round 7, we all did a little bit of misplays, obviously. But I think it's the nerds were part of that too. We're just trying to like win. We're right there. We can see the finish line. But we really like even I'll give shout outs to the guy around 6 with the Maduke. as well. Like you can tell we're playing our hearts out and like analyzing everything, looking at everything. What can we do? How can we out? It was like we both said it. It was literally a mental game at that point because it's like I'm gonna try to bluff you, but you're bluffing too. I don't know what you have. But I definitely feel like it came out a stronger and better player. Like you said, that should always be the goal. But that definitely, I would say, was probably one of the best events. Because the EC, right? Ohio, when you're riding a high, easy, right? When you're like 5-0, well, whatever, you know, I could lose 1 or 2. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of bites you in the ass. Where this is the opposite, right? We're like, shit, like, hey, get down your white horse. You know, let's settle down, and you need to focus. Because I think a lot of times, I think me and Eric were talking about this. A lot of times you get comfortable because you're winning and you're winning.
Yeah.
With this one, like, yeah, I was happy that I won, but I never celebrated that win. It was kind of all right. Focus on to the next one. Like it ain't like a victory. It's on to the next one. And I think that's what kept me
that
on
was
my
just
toes.
one of the 5 wins that you need to get.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was super exciting, though. I mean, I finally did it because I felt I was this close in Ohio. And I missed it by just a mile. And this time I got it. So I definitely were already buying plane tickets and stuff. Me and my wife are planning already going to the Netherlands.
Congrats,
so I'm excited
man.
for it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So, I'm excited for that. So, but yeah, all in all, it was a good event. You know, I wish my boy Eric is right next to me. You know, I was like, it was crazy, man, because like I was so close trying to pay attention to what he was doing. And I could have swore he had it. So I was like, I didn't want to celebrate too early when I felt I was about to win, when I summoned him to do, because I was like, boom, absolute BSS going to Netherlands, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
But it's but you know, I told Eric too, he did super fantastic for being his first Grand Open.
Absolutely.
Playing an aggro deck, because aggro decks are very scary, right? You either have it or you don't have it. And he played his heart out. And I was telling him, like, I mean, we've been playtesting a lot, but to be in a Grand Open with other high level players, right? He piloted that deck very well. And it was exciting to see it make him that far. So shout out to you, man. I know you kind of, you know, you didn't get the invite, but dude, that's your first one. You're gonna have the same thing happen to me.
Yeah.
So
Right.
lose the
Yeah,
first
exactly.
one, the next Grand Open, you got it, man.
Was,
Like,
yeah.
this was my Ohio, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, honestly though, I was pretty bummed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and not even because I wanted to win that badly, but mainly because I felt like I let the absolute BSS boys down. You know, I was like, we almost did it together. You know, like I wanted us to do it together, but. At the end of the day, though, I'm very happy that one of us is going. That's super fucking cool.
Absolutely. Angel representing the podcast. But, like, that's the thing, too. This is our first season. This is our first game that we're all playing together. And it's very fresh and very new. So, yeah, man, 4-3, fantastic.
Yeah.
Angel, you got the invite. That's so sick. And
it's crazy,
we'll
man.
eventually
Like,
get there.
you will. You're gonna have to experience your first Ohio too soon.
Yes.
So just to get out of the way. But I'll say this, man. Even Gen Con, I think I was talking to Eric about this at the hotel. I'm glad I went to Gen Con, and you know, part of me was kind of sad that I didn't get to participate in other Gen Con stuff because I was tied up with Battle Spirits all 4 days. Because that was like my mental preparation for like this next Grand Open and you know, working on my deck. And now that I think about how this went, I'm kind of not bummed out about it because it did its job, right?
It paid off.
I feel like out of Gen Con, I also became a better player, right? I ended up winning that one tournament on Saturday, and I was playing the purple white against Cosmic and other good players, and I ended up getting my little fancy metal quarter. It's pretty cool to look at. It's super heavy, guys. I think I let you guys so you guys hold it. It's heavier than look. I mean, it's heavy. So, but I definitely came out a better player out of Gen Con, and I used that time to really refine that deck from Ohio, and it got better at Gen Con. And then I learned some stuff from Gen Con. And then playtesting with Eric like almost every night.
Yeah.
We tweaked it. And I'm kind of glad I went with my gut Thursday night. I think I texted you guys, hey, I think I'm going to put my X Spiders back in and take these other cards out. Because I just feel like I'm going to need them. And I did, you know. Unfortunately, we talked about it, whether you like the cards or not. If the card's good and you can play it or fits in your deck, play it. Why wouldn't you, right? Don't try to be this like row person. I'm gonna anti it because you can be anti all you want. You're gonna lose games. Like if a card's good and it works in your deck, just play it.
And if a card is good and it works against your deck, learn how to play around it.
Yep.
There's a lot of value and experience that comes from losing. There's a lot of, there's still experience from winning. But like Angel was saying, like just play test, get out, play your events, get an idea and a grasp of what that looks like. You know, one grand open to the next, wildly different as far as like your mindset and your grind set, you know, while you're in there. And that's just the best thing to do is to just keep playing, right? Play, have fun, talk to people, learn, get a team, play test with us, join the Discord. You know,
one thing that you said that I don't recommend people to do this, right? You said it. Play the game, whether you lose or win. Play, right? If you drove out there, you flew out there.
Yes.
Just play all rounds, whether you lose or not. I mean, there's a few people there that dropped, and you don't gain nothing out of dropping.
Yeah,
like,
that always bums me out, man.
It does, because I mean, to me, you're at the end of the day, you're there to play a game that you like, right?
Yeah.
Or a card game that you love. But on top of that, that does not help you play against other possible players that you don't get a chance. I think and I'm gonna say it wrong again, probably Varak. I'm just calling you Very. So I was talking to him about that. Like, he built his deck based on his local scene, right?
Right.
Whereas you probably shouldn't do that, right? Because Grand Open is not your local scene. You're gonna have players from all over the world, you know, going from everywhere. So keep up with the meta, but do not drop. And he had a blast.
Exactly.
I don't know if he won a game. I don't think he won a single game, right? If I remember correctly.
No, but
that dude had a smile.
But he stayed in
all 7.
But he played, and
he played them all.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
I played against different decks, and that's what makes you a good player. Because yes, you're losing at that point, you're still winning by learning how to play against a deck or seeing how the better players piloting a deck that maybe you can pilot later on. But you should never drop. I never understood why players drop. I get it.
I get it at Gen Con, but like for a Grand Open, just play your rounds.
That's all you're there for, you know. Like, just play that. Yeah. So that's the only I would say.
And try to temper your expectations going into events. I think that's another thing that you really should do, because someone at the end of the day has to go 0-7, and it might be you. I had a friend who went in our first Vault tour. She went with me. It was 6 rounds of Swiss. I went 3-3. She went 0-6. Same thing. Had a great time. Never dropped. Played the game. Learned a lot. It's just what you should do. You learn a lot.
I think I've said this before about another event, but I think if your expectation about the event is I'm going to go and I'm going to play some Battle Spirits and have fun, you're going to have a fantastic time. I think that's a great expectation to have going to one of these, especially because, like, you know, the high level players do come out for these. Like, the competition is very fierce. But to Angel's point, I think that was something too. Is I feel like a much better player after playing in that event, because I played against some really, really good players who had constructed some really good decks, and I feel like I know my deck so much. Like, I know my deck so well now. Like, to the point where, like, I feel super, super comfortable with it. I was feeling comfortable with it going into the event, but now I still was learning stuff about my deck as I was playing it. So, yeah, super fun event. I had a blast. I still think Gen Con was a bit more fun because there were other things to do.
Yeah, but Gen Con wasn't competitive, though. It's a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just stressful.
Yeah, this was very, very fun in a very different way, in that, like, the high level competitive. Yeah, like, it got so serious towards the end there, but it was, like, such a good thing. I know we're almost at, I know that we're, like, way over where we normally want to be as far as time goes, and I feel like we say that every episode. Yeah. But I wanted to mention really quick, just other stuff that happened after the end of the event.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to, Saturday night. Varrock took us to a kick-ass ramen place called.
I was dying when you guys told me you were getting ramen.
Oh, good.
I was so.
I think it was called Jinya Ramen or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I think it was Jinja Ramen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Man, that was so good, and we played. I had some prototypes with me of my new games I'm working on, so we played some of those.
Awesome.
Got some playtesting in for some of my board game prototypes. Also Sunday, sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. No, that was Saturday night. So then Sunday we went back to Cherry Street Kitchen because that place is freaking great. And we just hung out. I bought way too much stuff, as I usually do at these events. But I bought some set 1 cards. We, like, drafted set 1 and played those games.
Fun.
We also we met some really cool people. Stacy Storm, I think was her name. She was there. I'm saying her first name and last name because I think it's kind of like a branding thing for her as well. So,
Nice.
but she's part of Club Pentan. So that's like their
My
team is
people.
Club Pentan. So when I gave her the tokens, she was like, "These are so cool. We need to make stuff like this for us." So we were like bouncing around ideas of what they could do for
that's
making
fun.
like Club Pentan stuff. And
I'll
man,
wear
everybody
Club
was there
Pentan
just
stuff. Holy shit.
yeah. Everybody was there just like and actually the dude who beat me the round before the day before in round 7 was a member of their team. So
Very
I was
cool.
able to like catch up with him and find out he did get his Netherworlds. He did get his Netherlands invite from beating me. So I was like, "Hey, at least it was worth it. Like I got somebody else an invite." So
What a good attitude to have there.
yeah.
For real.
And he was a cool dude. He was a really cool dude. So I'm happy that somebody got it. That's like a cool dude he was playing a cool deck. Yeah, we were just hanging out, watching the games, playing. Angel and Barack and I were drafting, and then he took us to his local store, which was very cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met up with some other Battlefield players there too. I think I'm probably saying it wrong, but Poof, I think is what he said his Discord name is. He actually ended up topping as well. I think it was number 15.
Wow.
He was playing Pterosaurs, I think is what he told us. So
Nice.
yeah, it's crazy, man. Like a lot of Battlefield players were there too. His local game shop was really awesome. Eric spent some more money, but some nostalgic some Yu-Gi-Oh decks that we ended up playing later that night.
Oh, that's
Speed
fun.
duels.
Speed
duels.
rush duels, yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
fun.
cool. Well, I'm super proud of both
We
of
played
you.
the
Oh yeah, go
we
for it.
played the
Say
shit
it.
out of some. We played the shit out of some One Piece. I'll say that. I'm excited to
Yes.
play some more One Piece. That game
Yes.
is fun.
It's fun.
We got hooked. It's funny. We played one game. I don't know how we're gonna feel about this. Like the rules remind me of that one game that you and I played,
thought the
Cam.
same thing.
I was like,
Angel.
wait a minute, this is very similar to that game we played. So I picked it up pretty quickly.
It looks like an
And,
IKEA manual. You like unfold it, and it's like, here's everything all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
but
were complaining about the resource management, just being typical gamers. And like once we played, I was like, oh, I can see why she
resources
only have 10.
rule.
It's right, you should only have 10 Dom because some of these cards get a little bit broken if you have more than like Yamato. But after we got done playing, we're like, man, this is fun. Let's play again. And I think the rest of the night we kept talking about it. Like it left us wanting to play more and more and more. So
it's a great game.
Yeah,
it's a good game. I enjoy it. It might be something that would definitely. I mean, I ended up buying it the same day. I bought like all starter decks that they were selling. It was like a Luffy, the 2 yellow, and then the black deck. I forget who the character is, but One Piece is extremely fun. It was a fun game. It was nice to play that, being so competitive, to take a break.
Yes.
Just have fun. Like just have fun playing the game.
It's like a Gen Con when we played Robot Quest Arena. It's
Yeah.
like, this is a completely different kind of experience now, and that's super fun. Well, I'm glad you guys you already know how to play One Piece, so now I can just jump in.
Now you can beat our butts.
I doubt it. I doubt it, man.
I really want to play One Piece, and I would actually like to play it at a tournament or something. But I think, and Angel and I talked about this, the one issue is that I think all of the One Piece tournaments are almost always going to be paired with Battle Spirits. So like, I'm not gonna pick One Piece over Battle Spirits because I'm just not that invested into the IP. But it's a fun game.
As far as locals, we do have a place that we could go to. We have a couple.
Okay.
So I'll let you know about that, and maybe we can get out to an event. My October is going to be a lot more open than my September is going to be. So hopefully we can get out to some One Piece and some more Battle Spirits.
Yeah, I'd love to play some more One Piece. That game.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it ever since. I've been thinking about it, so it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Hopefully, I can teach my wife, and hopefully, she likes it. It's a little bit more simple. I mean, I can get certain decks can get a little complex, like the yellow one you were playing, but
sure.
I think she'll like it. Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, I'm kind of nervous too, though, because now these next 2 months it's going to be Pro Tour preparation, right? So I'm going to be like so invested in like all the different things I can do, and then. But One Piece for sure. We're definitely gonna get onto that, and I hope I can get some locals for you guys. Since Shadowverse, it's dead to me. I'm not just kidding. It's not dead to me, but it's not supported.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, second set's coming out. Did you know?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No.
At the end
I
of
didn't know actually.
September 29th, I think. Only because I follow the Twitter. And they're like posting
yeah.
videos of like, here's how the resource management works in Shadowverse, and we're like, the game's been out for months. Like, just give us a tournament. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, give us something. I mean, jeez. But it was all a fun event. Battle Spirits, love it. Love the game even more now.
That's so great.
Excited for set 3. I know they're spoiling lore sets here
Yes.
shortly, and then set 3
Yeah.
spoilers will be here right around the corner. So excited to talk about that and seeing what blue does to the game, and finally the last color, and it's gonna be now you can play whatever style you want to play or mix them all. So
Yeah,
I'm excited. And it's
very
new cards.
excited.
It's always fun playing new cards. So
Absolutely.
The card pool is going to be, man, like we're going to look back on this in the future and be like, wow, remember when the card pool was like 400 something cards and now we have like all of these options?
Remember when
That's
we
just gonna
wanted
be
to
crazy.
ban Netherworld depths? Not us, not this podcast.
But there's going to be some broken blue Nexus that's going to make depths look like a child's toy,
I think so. I think so. Put your
All
ban
right.
hammers away
Well-
for now. We'll talk about it later. Well, cool.
Cool.
Well, yeah. Again, super proud of you both. Congrats, Angel, for the invite.
Thank you.
Yes.
Representing Absolute
Congratulations,
BSS.
Angel.
Come and
Thank you.
join us in all this fun. And thank you, yeah, again, for I wish I was there to experience it all, but thanks for coming up and talking to these guys and being excited about just the game, first and foremost, and then our little content, our little corner of this game that we have. You are absolutely invited to come out and be a part of that with us. Join our Discord. Links will be in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already doing so much for just our personal fun in this game. And like Eric said earlier, we're going to do it anyway. So might as well just hang out.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're enjoying it. But yeah, just keep in touch. Absolute BSS pod at gmail.com is where you can email us. You're listening to it, so you know where to find it. But join the Discord. Come on in. We've got like it keeps growing. We've got people in here, and we're talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. And
I don't want to share too much yet, but I am brewing some ideas for some online like tournament events for our Discord as well. But we need to get a little bit bigger first. But once we do that, once we have some more members, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun in here. I mean, we're already having fun. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, we're having a blast. I never used Discord before we had a Discord server for this. So that's been really, really fun. So
I'm checking Discord all day because people are posting all sorts of stuff. In fact, there's a notification right now that I've been wanting to read.
I know. I've been wanting to click it, but then it'll take away our camera. It's fun.
Yeah, no. Definitely join the Discord. Like I said, it's a little bit of everything for everybody. I mean, we do talk, obviously, Battle Spirit stuff, but we have different subcategories for every other game you're probably into anyways, and we're always shooting stuff in there, or just joking around. So definitely join. Talk to us. Hey, give us critiques. Hey, I don't agree with what you said. It's fine. We'll take it. Opinions are opinions. So
don't be a dick, because no one is in our Discord right now. But honestly, just we have fun. We're talking to Varrock before y'all met him about the Grand Open, and just throwing out some advice and just friendly words. It's just cool. We were all like geeking out over the stream while it was happening in the Discord. It was cool. Like, if you're a part of any Discord community, you know how cool it is. But like, this is my first time doing it, so it's been really neat for me. So thank you to everyone in our Discord so far, anyone who joins in the future, and anyone who's listening to this at all. Seriously, it's very, very fun. I've had a blast doing this, and I can't wait to get out to a big event with you guys sometime soon.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Absolute BSS. All the stuff is in the show notes. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.